They've had their principal left. Their money is in question about what they are doing with it, and the one down in Washington County, the people voted against and asked for it not to be in Washington County. People like to know that they have some power over what happens to their children.
Okay. Did that answer your question, caller?
Yeah, it does. I know it's only caller, but I got one more.
Okay, one more question.
We have state of Alabama has been consistently at the bottom in such a way outstanding compared to other states, and I believe that testing is the reason for that. Because we focus on testing. What can we do at the lower levels of parents, teachers, and administrators to come out of this? And it has to do a lot with the folks in charge in education too now. That takes place at the board level. But what can we do to come out of this? Begin to come up for our academic standards in math and science and all other courses.
Great question.
Great. Well, the standards are there. I don't think, though, that we can allow the so-called, for example, literacy exam. That's where we plan to give children a test in third grade to see if they can read. And if not, there's a mandate there that they be kept back. I don't think we can afford to do that. First of all, we're making a failure out of a child at 7 or 8 years old.
Yes.
We're telling them that he's a failure. Something needs to happen before that. As I've mentioned earlier, McRae Learning Center did that with children. It was a private school, yes, but it did that with children 4, 5, and 6 years old. And so I think we have to start early to begin to prepare our children. If they get further than that, slip by, but we have to have teachers who are vigilant to assess what is going on with each child, teachers, parents, and community.
Right.
We have to send our children to school ready to learn. I've worked in the public schools of Sumter, Choctaw, Wilcox, Lowndes, Perry. I've worked there, and I have seen children who were not ready to learn in middle school. That is to say that their behavior had become the forceful thing that the teachers saw every day.
Right.
But we have to use wraparound services that respond to not just the academic needs of a child, but its social and emotional needs as well. Children don't always learn the same. They learn at different levels.
All right. Thank you for calling, Mr. Freddie Howard.
All right, y'all take care now. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have another question. And this person, I gotta ask this question because she's gonna kill me if I don't. It's off of my chart, but it's on hers. Joanne Bland, she just sent me this question. She said, what do you see as the current challenges facing public education in our state? I think you answered some of it with his question, but she told me to ask you. Joanne.
I think some of the current challenges, yes, I have talked about. But I think the improvement of public schools has to be at the forefront. We need better qualified teachers, for one thing. And not just qualified when they go in, but we need to make certain that our teachers have what we call continuing education, so that as new ways and means of teaching, new outlooks on education become available, our teachers will know about it, and our superintendents will be encouraged to have and give incentives for our teachers to go there. I think we have to maintain standards, which is something, as I mentioned earlier, the charter schools don't have to do that. They are not governed by the state. The Alabama has relaxed its requirement for the praxis exam for teachers because it has trouble getting teachers. But people talk about the money poured into public schools, but the schools where children are poor and live in places with a 100% poverty rate are not receiving that kind of money. The arts have been left out of those schools. There are little something on the side. And hopefully somebody can come in during Black History Month.
So it's not treated.
It's not a part of the core curriculum. And it should be. The arts and history, the history of people 50 years ago, not 200 or 300 years ago only, but our history 50 years ago that includes the strides Black people have made in this country. In voting, in education, social development, all of that. It's important for our children to know that. Some of them think that they just up and arrived to where they are because their parents haven't taught it. Some parents have felt that they didn't want their children to know about how bad things were, and so they haven't exposed them to it. So there are a whole range of things that challenge us today, and this whole idea of Amendment 1, for example, which will be on the ballot, and it's an innocuous-looking little thing there on the ballot, but it provides for the abolishment of the election of our state school board.
Oh, wow.
And it allows our governor to appoint the school board to be confirmed by the legislature. Now, we know who's the majority in the legislature.
Oh, yes.
So,
Malika and them work there.
Yeah.
I'm a little silly, so I have to. It's named because I told.
When people are appointed, they have allegiance to the people who appoint them. You know the old adage, dance with the one that brung you?
Yeah.
So that's who they have allegiance to.
Y'all gonna get me kicked off. I got another question to ask, and then also no. Oh, I got another call coming in 3 minutes. So why do you feel that you're the best person for this position? Because I know you had to have some kind of feeling of tenacity to be running for it. So why do you feel you're the best candidate for this seat?
Well, first of all, I've worked with children for the last 3 or 4 decades. So it's been quite a journey. Whatever I have been doing, I have even with jobs that didn't relate, I have gone into communities and organized children. Okay, I organize them in the arts and teach them. I have mentored children all of my working career. I have been involved as a mentor for children. They come and tell me, some of them who are out of college now and working, they come to let me know what it has meant to them.
Some of them who are almost 50. I was 12. I think I was 11. You were 11. The first camp of yours that I attended.
Yeah.
Caller, you're on the air. Good morning. Good afternoon, caller. Not good morning. I'm still in the morning phase. Hello? Caller? Something is happening. Okay. So, let's see.
So I think I'm the best candidate for this position because I love children. I believe that all children can learn. They may learn in different ways, but I believe that they can learn. I believe we have some of the brightest children anywhere in the state of Alabama. It's no secret that because our children, many of them have not had opportunities in Alabama, they go to other cities and they contribute to those cities more than they contribute the people who are from there. We have people who are very important people in northern and cities and in the West and in the Middle who come from the Deep South and places like Alabama because there were not economic opportunities. So I think economics goes along with helping our children. They need somewhere to work.
Yes.
When they get out of school, which is also why I'm a promoter of vocational education. Because all children don't want to go to college, but they should have an opportunity while they are in high school to train for other jobs, to be able to take courses that will prepare them for jobs in the 21st century workplace once they are out of high school.
And with vocational, I mean, sometimes they can work while they're in high school.
Exactly.
In college, I mean.
And many kids need to work, to help their families, and they do work. Unfortunately, it's slinging hash in the fast food places most of the time now. But we need to provide opportunities for our children, and I think that's so important.
So, is there anything else you want to leave with the people before we have this next guest calling in?
Go right ahead.
Good afternoon. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, this is Sharon Morgan. I am supposed to speak to Marla Moore.
I'm speaking to you now, Miss Sharon.
Oh,
I know she's on the air.
How are you doing? You're on the air, so people are listening. And
sorry.
You should call myself.
You're fine.
Dr. Billie Jean Young is in here. We're finishing up the interview with her, and maybe she may have some questions to ask you as a fellow author, if she chooses. So, thank you for calling in. And this is the author Sharon Leslie Morgan of "Gather at the Table: The Healing Journey of a Daughter of Slavery and a Son of the Slave Trade." So, Ms. Sharon, I'm gonna let Dr. Young wrap up, and then we're gonna come to you.
All right, I'm here.
All right.
As a daughter of the black belt, I know what our children face, and I think one of my very early poems exemplifies that. It's called "The Child of Two," T-O-O. I go through changes because of me and who I am, and because of you and who you are. I'm the child of two. Too much, too little, too late. The child of two I am, one of you whom I never met. And I make no apologies for you. I make no apologies for me, for I must go on. Back there in my past, dark or light, high or low, narrow or wide, I can't account for you. I make the best of me, even with my two. And from two twos, I try to make one. Me.
Wow.
That's awesome. Now, why is so scary? I thought Maya Angelou was just sitting there. I know people tell you that all the time. They got me. I'm serious. I'm like, oh no, is she channeling? I mean, what? Okay, thank you, Dr. Billie Jean. So we have Sharon Morgan, the author, Gather at the Table on the call. You want to introduce yourself, Ms. Morgan?
I am the author of Gather at the Table. I am a writer, genealogist, and I devote my time to using genealogy as a tool for healing from the legacy of slavery, which is racism, that we are dealing with in America today. So I recently presented in Selma for the Truth, Reconciliation, and Healing Program that is sponsored by the Kellogg Foundation. And that is how I got to meet you, Marla.
Yes, ma'am. That's how you got to meet me.
Engage in conversation.
Okay. I just got a couple of...
Chicago originally, which is where I grew up. I lived for several years overseas, and in New York and Atlanta and some other places. And I am totally devoted to this mission that I am working on because I believe strongly that our ancestors dreamed of us as they were struggling in the cotton fields of the Black Belt. And we are the personification of what they dreamed, that life would be a better world.
Okay.
Now we got to fix this racism.
Yes, ma'am. I just have a couple of questions that I wanted to ask, some specific questions.